We're going to throw a little curveball today. What if AI isn't revolutionary at all? It's just another tech tool like spreadsheets or search engines. It does challenge us to rethink whether AI deserves its pedestal or is it just a seat at the IT help desk. This week, our panel read an article, The Brewing Controversy Over the Proposition That AI is Nothing More Than Just Normal Technology by Lance Elliott. It was on the Forbes website. Kelly's dropping a link in. Thank you, Kelly. And so let me introduce you to our guests and let's get into it. First off, this guy is obsessed with product, powered by jazz, and possibly part owl. Please welcome Misha Sulpovar. He is the founder of Prompt Owl and vice president of product management of AI product management at Cherry. All right, welcome, Misha. Next up, strategy by day, soft rock by night. He's your go-to for product harmony. Make some noise for Steve Johnson, CEO of Product Growth Leaders. Welcome back, Steve. And he simplifies complexity by day, and we assume wedding registry returns by night. Give it up for Akash Shah, CPTO at My Home Pathway.
Thanks, Jason.
And last but not least, from plies to pull requests, he's gracefully balanced art and engineering. It's Scott Mitchell, former CTO at SalesLoft. Welcome, Scott.
Thanks,
Going
Jason.
for the deep cuts. All right. So today we're asking the question. You've all read the article, and it asked the fundamental question: is AI just another tool or a transformational leap that demands a different mindset? I'm going to go to Misha first. Misha, if AI were a co-founder, what would its toxic trait be?
So when you frame the question, I had to go ask AI what it thought the toxic trait would be, and I think its response, and I asked something like 20 different models because I wanted a nice survey, I wanted consensus, right? And I think its response is a great illustration of its toxic trait. So universally, the trait that came up most was that it was going to over optimize everything. And from a set of models that is hoovering up energy like nobody's business and generating a bunch of hallucinated content and junk into the world, it's a funny thing to hear it say that it's going to over optimize. So I would say it's probably a lack of self-awareness.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe a little bit of delusional there. So what was your take on the article overall?
I I thought it was an interesting debate. I think it's an interesting question, but I think I've said for a while that what we're experiencing in AI is not a technology innovation, it's a language innovation. And through that frame, you're looking at the time horizon in millennia rather than in the last 200 years where we've had rapid technology innovation. And I don't think any of us have been alive the last time we've had a real language innovation. The last one probably being the printing press or journals or cuneiform maybe before that. I think everything is just another thing if looked at at the right time horizon. But this is not a time horizon where any of us have experienced this before. That's my take.
A language innovation. I hadn't thought of it that way. That's going to keep me awake at night now. Thank you. Steve, which industry is pretending hardest that it gets AI right now?
Oh, definitely the ERP vendors.
Okay.
All the enterprise software is like they're hiring AI product managers, which are the same thing as product managers, but they have the word AI in front of their name. They're putting AI throughout all of their software, and I'm personally finding it difficult to get all of the AIs out of my way when I'm trying to actually do something. Copilot's let me help, and some other thing is let me help, and I'm like, dude, I know how to write a sentence. So yeah, I'd say it's the ERP vendor
Clippy's revenge.
followed closely by management consulting. That whole big consulting. They're like, oh, we'll help you come up with an AI plan, and everybody's walking around with this hammer, and they just can't find anything to hit it with.
Fair point. That's true. So is it just another tool or is it something special and different?
My sense is it's as big as the internet, but it's still, I mean, it's the coalescing of the work we've been doing in data science over the last few years, the work in machine learning. But I think the part that most people are aware of is finally we have a natural language interface that we've been promised my entire career.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, coalescing of technology, but mostly it's just once we get past all the noise, I think it is going to be huge. But right now, it's still a hammer looking for a nail.
That's fair, but you're right. As an interface, it is certainly transformative to be able to really communicate naturally. That's a really good point. This is probably a good time to hang out your consulting shingle then, if it's the management consultants that are claiming to get it. All right. So let's jump over to Akash. Before you get into your thoughts on this, would you rather launch an AI product or explain it to your in-laws?
I've actually had to explain it to my in-laws recently, and you would think that the answer is launch an AI product, but frankly, if the product is built appropriately, the AI part is almost hidden for a consumer solving a problem. So I would rather explain a good product to my in-laws because all I have to explain to them is this is the problem that this solves and this is how it solves it. I think in the past, like if you look at adoption of technologies, like whether it's internet or self-service, think about how much we talked about self-service experiences like 20 years ago, trying to get as many people to move away from analog to like online banking, online this. And it was driving a technology adoption versus a solution adoption. And I think that's part of what's so different about the technology today is it's much simpler to explain to someone because you just have to type a question in a window or do X and then Y comes out. So I think I'd rather explain it if it's a good product. And developing an AI product that is good is actually much harder than people make it out to be.
Yeah, making that elegance of
Yeah.
something. I love how you kind of position that. It's not obvious that it's. I'm paraphrasing, but it's not. If it's not obvious that it's AI, it's just great user experience, just great customer experience. Then you're hitting the head on the head. Hitting the nail on the head, unlike Steve's experience where we've got Clippy 2.0 constantly jumping up and say, "Hey, I'm AI. Can I help you?"
And there are many solutions that are trying to just be a smarter Clippy, and it's annoying. But you walk into a neurology appointment, and your doctor takes assistance from AI to narrow down your ailments, and then finds an actual solution for you. I think you're gonna never know that AI had assistance on it, but it could be life changing.
And for you millennials and Gen Zers out there, if you are looking with glazed eyeballs at this Clippy discussion, Google it. You'll thank me later.
Yeah.
So, Scott, you've been in the trenches. Is AI solving real problems, or is it really just giving product managers something to put on slide 3?
Well, certainly giving them something to respond to their board that's pushing them to have an AI story, right? Steve, when you reference the management consultants, they're just reacting to the fact that every board everywhere is saying, do it now or we're going to be out of business. There's a domain of problems large language models solve really well. I think Misha hit it on the head, right? The ability to derive meaning from text streams of language is something we've struggled with for a long time. I'll point back to SalesLoft, where we had call recordings and Zoom recordings in the millions and always struggled to deliver value out of them, right? And we were able to throw out research that was going to take another year or two to then just swap in some fairly quick innovation with large language models. So there's definitely a domain of problems, but dear God, yeah, the rush to add a chatbot to every app is just pointless. But I'm enjoying. I've got a couple clients that are really digging deep and trying to figure this out, and it's fun to watch them realize they can solve customer problems that had been in the backlog for a long time that they didn't know a way to solve. And so there, it's great.
Yeah.
The article is the reason for this debate is like a choice between warning society of what's coming or telling society to take a chill pill.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
the choice that it's trying to debate between. And I actually asked ChatGPT, what do you think about this answer? And frankly, the answer was quite similar to what I put together in my own head, which is it is a transformative technology, but it comes with potential dangers. Like imagine AI making loan decisions, for example. And right now, if you look at all the data input out there about lending, it's actually quite unfair. There's a ton of data out there that says it doesn't serve underserved communities properly. There's an unfairness towards black and brown communities, et cetera. So there's all these like actual lending data out there. Now that's the same data that it's going to use to make a decision. So now it's going to scale way faster than we can ever scale. And you can't really hit undo
Based on the training data.
based on the training data. So my opinion at the end of the day was like, yeah, I think we do need to have policies and processes in place to have control over how AI is used and how it's not used. I think we missed the mark on social media. Look at how much society is affected by us not regulating any part of social media or even creating company-wide policies on how to use social media and those types of things. So I think it is game-changing and thus, and it's becoming ubiquitous. So even a nascent user is starting to use it. Because of that and several other factors, I think there needs to be a watchdog or some type of policy to regulate it.
Yeah.
I think one fallacy of the conversation can be getting too locked in on large language models as well, right?
Yeah.
That's not the only innovation in AI happening right now. The level of innovation in robotics that's happening right now alongside these other models is really pretty staggering. And so the concept of is it normal technology? I never would have thought to try to label it that way. But when looked at in totality, it's really massive what's happening and at really breakneck speed. And at the same time, I don't think the government has the opportunity to regulate it in a way that's sane. Mostly because if we regulate it strictly here, it's going to just innovate elsewhere, right?
Yeah,
And so we
that's
only have a limited domain of control.
one of the things that we talk about on a regular basis in product management as a whole is the need to get out of the office, to talk to customers. But the reality is, most product managers aren't really taught how to listen or interview well. We stumble through our own interviews, we gather just enough insight to feel productive, but then we wonder why our personas don't really stick. So we're going to flip the script a little bit today. We're going to watch a live user interview unfold. We're going to see how seasoned product managers extract real pain points and motivations and outcomes in real time. And it's going to be a good time because we've got one of the guys who has taught more product managers than probably anybody else on the planet. Steve Johnson is going to be leading that discovery interview right in front of us. Instead of going off into breakout groups, we're going to have a single breakout in a fishbowl right here in front of everybody. You're going to watch Manesh and Scott and Matt jump in and analyze this interview together and identify some persona details and some opportunities and some pain points from the conversation. So and then you'll be able to jump in and add your own perspective as well. If you see something from a different angle or a different perspective, we'd love to have you jump in and be a part of that. It's going to be a fun time. But I want to start by asking everybody on the call here, when was the last time you had a direct customer conversation? Just drop it in the chat. How long has it been since you had a direct customer conversation? Scott says last Friday. Steve says 1 hour ago. Excellent. Gotten a lot of silence. Does that mean never? Less than 24 hours. About a month ago. Yesterday. Excellent. Yesterday. We're getting some good yesterdays. 6 months, 2 months. So yeah, it's spread out there. And how many of you have a system in place to ensure that you are actually speaking to customers on a regular basis? Just throw your hand up if you've got a system in place and you have a way that you know you're going to regularly speak to customers. Throw your virtual hand up or your real hand up. I'll see your virtual hand faster. Jake says, when I'm working on an internal product, I get customer conversations daily. When I'm working on consumer facing, it's much rarer. See, last month you said you have a system in place. What are you doing to make sure that you talk to customers on a regular basis, Akash?
So once a month, I actually sent out 100 random customers an email asking them to fill out a basic survey, which could be on topic that we're specifically working on, and for a $25 gift card to join us for like a 15-minute interview.
Yep.
And so it happens at the end of each month. We try to do the interview. So I spoke to a customer yesterday for about 30 minutes, and most customers who actually take you up on that 15-minute interview, it turns into 45, turns into like those are the ones that you get such like deep golden information. And what's funny about what Steve said earlier is AI is not making purchases right now. It's the customers. So whether you use AI or not in your job, you're going to always need to talk to customers because they're the ones actually shilling out dollars for your product. So that's why I don't think our system is great, because even when you offer money, they don't always take you up. Like for the 100 emails that I send out once a month, I get 2 responses, right?
Yep.
Even though we're giving out $25. And so you have to keep trying new channels to get that information. And yes, customer proxy information is good, like customer support and sales teams and all that stuff, but nothing replaces customer